Well, I think I have quite a social personality, and I really like to meet different people, and I also like to keep in touch with the people living next to my home. So I know most of my neighbors that who are living next to my doors or after few homes as well, and I think I have a good relationship with all of them.
All right. So how often do you see them?
Um, Actually, I don't believe in like disturbing anyone very often, and I try to keep in touch or try to meet with my neighbors on the weekends when most of the people are free from their daily routines, like from offices or from like studies and working type of things. So I prefer to meet with my neighbors on weekends, and sometime I invite them on some nice tea party, or sometime I visit their homes.
All right. So what kinds of problem do people sometimes have with the neighbors?
Yes, actually, every person has his own lifestyle, and sometimes your some habits or the tactics of lifestyle disturb the other persons that are living next to you. I noticed that some people have the habit of listening to very loud music,
Hmm.
and which is not very good for their neighbors because they may disturb their neighbors as well. And some neighbors also don't bother to go to their neighbors' home in very odd hours, like in the peak noons and early in the mornings or late nights. And other than that, some neighbors also keep some sort of pets like the dogs that are very habitual of barking very loudly. This can also disturb your neighbor. And other than that, a very big disturbance that I noticed is that some person don't bother about the cleanliness of the area. They just gather all of their garbage from their home and just throw out on the street or somewhere in front of other people's home. So in these type of habits and like things make other people disturbed.
All right. So how do you think neighbors can help each other?
I think neighbors should be very helpful, and I should be very helpful to each other, because I think the neighbors are the first persons that come to you when you are in need. Like your most of the time, your friends and family members are living on different areas of your home. They are mostly they are not living next to your home, and whenever you get into some kind of emergency, either it is of for some kind of medical emergency or anything, so the first person that can give you the help or extend his hand for help is your neighbor. So I think neighbors are very important, and a good relationship with the neighbors are also very good to feel comfortable and to feel protective in your house.
All right. So now we come to part two of the test.
Okay.
Describe a time when you were asked to give your opinion in a questionnaire or survey. You should say what the questionnaire survey was about, why you were asked to give your opinions, what opinions you gave, and explain how you felt about giving your opinions in this questionnaire survey.
Okay. Um, I had a chance to, I think, any year before when I was asked for my opinion, and I also had to fill the questionnaire that was given to me by the team, and this survey was basically conducted by um, let me just tell you one thing that I am a veterinary professional and I am working as a veterinary doctor in the field. So on my routine basis, I have to check a lot of animals who are diseased, and I have to give them the treatments. And there is a very well-known company or you can say organization by the name FAO that that organization is working for the eradication of foot and mouth disease from the Pakistan, and foot and mouth disease is considered as the most expensive and the most deteriorating disease when it comes to animals. And this is basically a disease of cloven-footed animals, and actually, there was a very big outbreak occur in all of the Pakistan, which was not expected basically by the higher ups. So somehow we handled the outbreaks, but to learn about the causes and the things that contributed in the emergence of this outbreaks. The FAO, which is NGO or an organization working for the eradication of foot and mouth disease, and their headquarters is in Islamabad. They conducted a questionnaire and they included all the opinions of all the field staffs or the field medical professions that are manually dealing with the diseased patients actually. So they conducted the survey in my area or in my jurisdiction basically. They asked from a lot of farmers that were the new symptoms and signs in the animals, and what will be the expected incubation date and incubation time of the virus, and how they cope up with the conditions, and how badly their animals are affected. And they asked, there were basically a lot of teams roam in my area and asked the opinions of different farmers, especially whose animals are affected by the foot and mouth disease. Actually, we gave us the data because we recorded all the data of diseased animals in our registers, and we also send our monthly surveillance reports in which we mention the infectious and all the other diseases that can be transmitted from one animal to the other animal and also to the human beings. We gather all the information from our registers and we compile them on the performers that were designed for these infectious diseases, and we send these performers with our signatures, like signatures of the in charge on the bottom of the page, to the diagnostic laboratories, and they get the raw data of the disease that is, and if of the all the diseases that are coming in the field staff or in the field areas. So they the teams conducted the survey in my area, and they asked the opinions of the farmers. And actually the survey was was spread on 2 to 3 days, and they try to move. They try to cover the entire area, and we helped them in this task. I allocated my staff members with them to uh, lead them in the area, because they are not native to these areas and they don't know where to go and where to go. After 2 to 3 days, they just provided the very technical sort of questionnaire to the professionals, and they likewise me, they also give me a questionnaire, and they asked me to fill the questionnaire. And when I read the questions, they were very technical questions according to the disease. We were observing at that time that the animals who are contracted the virus, they show very strange and different type of symptoms in this outbreak, because the symptoms and the conditions of the animals are not related to the strain of the virus that are habitual of coming every year. which means that the virus get mutated and it develops some modification in its behavior, in its nature, which is like developing very different kind of signs and symptoms. And the some of the questions are some of the questions are according to the regarding the conditions of the animal, the effect of the disease on different kinds of the animals, or different age of the animal, like what is the effect of the virus on the pregnant animals and on non-pregnant animals and on young animals or on adult animals. Like questionnaire was designed like this, and there were also some sort of questions which were asked to just list down the prominent symptoms that are common in every case. And other than that, they also want us to give some opinion about the productivity loss of the animal. Like foot and mouth is considered like if a is like that if a animal contracted the foot and mouth virus once in a life, so he cannot be come to that productive life again. Like his production is deteriorated for the whole life. So that is why the this virus is called as the most expensive and most expensive, as well as the most difficult to treat virus. So the most of the questions were according to this, and they also asked us about the vaccination schedules that we follow in our government level. And the questionnaire was I think consists of 50 to 60 questions, and some are of very easy type, and whereas some are of very critical one. And in fact, I have to discuss with my colleagues as well to answer some of these questions because they are very difficult one. And after getting the information from the field and from the medical staff, they allocated their teams to vaccine the diseased animals, and they also ordered them to cover to cover 100-meter radius where the disease comes, just to just as a measure to stop the virus from spreading very fastly. So this was basically the questionnaire, and I was feeling very proud because I was it would not be an exaggeration if I say that I am included in the most in the practitioners of my area who have a lot of cases to deal on daily basis. So I have a good repute in my official circle. So they asked me my opinion separately as well. So I give them a very true and honest opinion regarding foot and mouth disease, and they took it very seriously. And other than that, they also implemented a few of my suggestions to eradicate or prevent the animals for further outbreaks, which shows that they considered my opinion very valuable. And I feel very proud at that moment when they implemented my suggestions. And after that, they also initiated a step that whoever all over the world send them a sample of foot and mouth diseased animal, and if the test if the result comes positive, then they give them the a free vaccine for the 100 or 200 animals. And the vaccines of FAO is very much expensive. It costs many thousands for one dose only. So it is not possible for the poor farmers to vaccinate their animals with this vaccine, but they are providing free of cost vaccine for those who are providing them the positive results sample. So I think it is a very good initiative, and it would be a very good step in the eradication of this very threatening disease in animal in the future. And the progress is going on, and I feel very much proud in giving giving my opinion in such a valuable survey and questionnaire.
All right, it's very nice. So now we come to part three of the test. Discussion topics are asking questions. So, what kinds of questions uh, want to, sorry, what kinds of organizations want to find out about people's opinion?
The organizations that are working on some emerging new like issues of the public, like some of the NGOs or the organizations are working for the politics. So they ask the opinion of the public regarding the ongoing programs of the government, and they ask about their opinion that either the government is doing right or wrong. And other than that, there are the some organizations also do surveys to like for like to check the different medical conditions, like the when there is dengue virus was very popular in the country. There are different medical teams that go in the area and they check the measurement. They check the measures that common people do in their homes, and they just develop they just gather our raw data that is given to the health department, by which they can like assess and further like implement the rules and regulations to keep up the conditions. And like if like we are dealing with a very crucial time of a very critical type of pandemic, and in this the surveys are continuously in process, which assess the surveillance of the disease and the chances and the cases of the disease and the recovered patients of the disease. By all these surveys, they gather the raw data which we see on a daily basis. The how much cases are came to new cases are came to the hospitals, and how many are the deaths, and how many patients are recovered. These all the data are gathered by the surveys. So I think there are a lot of different type of surveys are in the like in process at all times.
Okay. Now, next question is: do you think that questionnaires, or surveys are good ways of finding out people's opinion?
Yes, somehow I agree with this like and questionnaires are important to take the opinion of the public. But I cannot say that this is true for in all time, because the questionnaires and surveys are only for the intellectual people who can read or answer the questions wisely and accordingly. But there are a lot of people who don't know how to read and how to read and answer the question, or how to write. So these type of people don't take full part in such type of surveys. And other than that, the people targeted by these surveys are of very less amount. Like every people cannot take part in such situations. So I think, but my opinion is that it entirely depends upon the purpose by which we are conducting a survey or questionnaire. The objective is important, and we have to focus on our objective. And to get that objective, we have to like deviate um, the mediums of the getting information. Like if we have to like some intellectual or some facts or data according to the like technical data, then we can go for like surveys and questionnaires. But if we have to like take a general opinion about very common cause from the public, so we can just go to the public and ask the questions to them manually, rather than just giving them a questionnaire and ask them to fill the questionnaire.
All right. So next is that what reason might people have for not wanting to give their opinions?
Sorry, what?
What reasons might people have for not wanting to give their opinions?
Actually, the first of all, the people who don't want to give their opinions in questionnaires because they think that opinions are not worthful, and they think that their opinions are not like important for the people who are taking their opinions. They just think that they are just asking by the way. They do not give their opinions the importance to just implement their suggestions and like take the actual stance from their opinions. So they think that it is the wastage of time to give their opinion when the other person has to do what they want to do. So they just think that this is the wastage of time, and I also think that people sometimes don't give opinion because they think that they are not directly affecting to the issue. They think that this is not our issue or this is someone else's issue, so we don't have to do anything to this like problem. So we are not related to the problem, so we are not going to give any sort of uh,
Hello?
hello.
Yes, carry on, carry on. Have you finished?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. And now the next questions are questionnaires in school. And example
Okay.
questions are, do you think it would be a good idea for schools to ask students their opinions about lessons?
Yes, I think it would be a very good idea because the level of teachers and the students is different, entirely different. Their level of intelligence, their knowledge is different. And when we give the questionnaires to the student to ask them about the teaching method, so they can give you their honest things that they want in their lessons. Like they can tell their teacher that they are learning or their style of teaching is like good for them, or they are not getting enough education that they want. So I think these type of questionnaires are very important to motivate and to more to mutate the ancient teaching methods, and by these type of questionnaires we can get very useful suggestions that can be very helpful for better learning, for better growth, and for better education system. So, and other than that, students can sometimes give very new and energetic and very innovative ideas. And a very other very good point of questionnaire is that there are some students that feel shy to like speak loudly in front of all people. They feel shy and they don't give suggestion, although their minds are like planting a lot of wonderful ideas. So by giving them such questionnaires, they can put their thoughts in the questionnaires, which can be read by the analyzers, and so they can extract the main point of the ideas and can be implemented in the studies that could be very helpful for the other students as well. So by these questionnaires, we can ask the opinions of shy students as well.
Now, next question is, what would be the advantages for schools? Sorry, what would the advantages for schools be if they asked the students their opinions?
For school, what? School?
What would the advantages for school be? And then we'll,
School fees?
yes, so a student in schools will get what kind of advantages by asking students' opinion. Actually, the question is simple, but it is made pretty difficult. So I again repeat the
Actually,
word. What would the advantages for schools be if they asked the students their opinions?
schools can take a lot of advantages if they ask the opinions of the students, because by taking opinions, they can just like keep the interest of students in study. And when the students feel that they are important for their school, because school wants their suggestions, their opinions, they just put a lot of efforts in their study, and ultimately the name of the school become popular, and the name of the school like get popularity. And other than that, the teaching system and the teaching system will be improved, and the students of that school develop a very good uh, sort of confidence in them. Then they can represent the school in on the larger scale. And other than that, the bad things that are prevalent or developed in the school teaching methods can be like extracted and can be eradicated by these type of opinions.
All right. So, next question is, would there be any disadvantages in asking students' opinions?
Um, yes, sometimes students develop a sort of behavioral disorder. What I mean to say is that they don't really respect. Sometimes they just lose the respect of their teachers, and they just started to give their opinions more openly, which is not very good in every platform. They have to give their opinions when they are asked to. Otherwise, that sometimes rest of all, I think the other things would be go in favor for the school.
So, do you think that students get overconfident by giving their opinions?
Yes, yes.
All right. So, this is the end of the test. Now, I will start another test within a couple of minutes. Keep holding, please, for that.